Hello, guys, and welcome back for another Testimony Tuesday. It is December, which means we're going to be talking about humility. And so, our first guest to share humility with us is Ariel Bowman. Hey, girl. Ariel and I went to church together when I lived in Texas, and we are now accountability partners. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you?
Okay, I'm Ariel. I am a graduate student at the University of Texas at Arlington. I study mathematical neuroscience. I'm in my 5th year of my PhD program, and I am from Dallas, Texas. I live with my mother. I used to live on my own during my first 4 years of graduate school and all of undergrad. And this past summer of 2018, was the transition period where I didn't find roommates in time that I fully trusted and I knew could move in with me on time. So I was kind of left with just going back home.
Yeah.
And that's where I am now.
So how has that been for you? How has it been moving back home?
It was a struggle, not gonna lie. I'm a very analytical person, a logical person. I think things through from step A to step Z.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom is very much kind of we'll
Go with
do
the flow. Let's see
yeah,
how it works out.
yeah. She wakes up on 25 and I do not. So last night we kind of had we didn't really have an argument, but she gets agitated with me with words. So I'm very particular with my words, so much so that it will take me, a few seconds to respond to someone until I can figure out the word that I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like there's a specific word that I want to say. She gets so agitated with the way I speak about things, and I get agitated when she gets agitated. Now, I never yell at my mom.
Yeah.
I don't get disrespectful towards her. We try to do things in a joking manner just to keep it light.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not like we're tiptoeing around each other.
Yeah.
But, these arguments do come up, and it's just then I feel bad. I feel convicted, like I've disrespected her or something.
That probably requires a lot of humility, because you have your own responsibilities. You have your own car. You had your own place for, what is that, 8 years now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you've lived on your own for 8 years now. Um, what does humility look like now in this season for you, with you living back with your mom? And two, how did you come to realize what steps you needed to take to make sure that you were humble and not too prideful, or that you were gracious and not, too judgmental, things like that?
So I think humility for me right now is just abiding by her rules in her household. When I'm there with her, I must follow her rules. I must listen to what she has to say. If she asks me to put away some food or wash the dishes, that's what I need to do. If she talks about me and what my bathroom looks like, I have to because I'm well, the apples don't fall too far from the tree. But you don't say that. You just say, yes, mother dear. Because I will clean my bathroom. I have to learn to shut my mouth and just do it. Because you train yourself to be independent when you're by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, I could call my parents up anytime and ask for anything if I really needed it. But, when you come home, it's you have to turn that off in a certain way. It's not all on me anymore. I have to realize that, yes, she's there. And if she's expecting me to come home, then I need to let her know I'll be here at this time or not. And so humility looks like if she's asking questions. Okay, so let me give a background on my mom. She has 5 questions to get to that one. And the first one is always, where are you? Where are you going to be home? When are you doing this? Are you going to be here at this time? And it's just answer the question. It's a struggle for me just to answer the first question. Like, why does it matter where I'm going? Because I promise you, if she's going somewhere, I'm like, well, I guess she'll be back when she's back.
Have fun.
Yeah, like, it's okay. Now, if it's like 24 hours and I ain't heard from her, then of course, I'll make a phone call. But it's just, that is the main thing of just getting used to, like, I have to let her know where I'm going, when I'm going to be there. And I think the steps that I'm taking to do so is to, like, just try my best to put myself in her shoes to understand what she's trying to get across to me.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to, like, cooking and food and cleaning and all that stuff. Like, she's trying to get across to me that she would like some help. She doesn't want to cook all the time. And I'm like, okay, that's understandable. Just things like that. And so I have to understand where she's coming from. When she asks a question that I know is already going to get on my nerve, I have to take a deep breath and be like, answer the right way. Like, and understand that she's still my mother. So, and another thing is, I was the one child that was pretty much gone all the time. Like, when I come back, it's like, Ariel! And I'm like, chill out! You so perky. Like, yeah. So, I mean, she wakes up like that. She will come in my room and be like, there's bananas in the kitchen. Thanks, mother dearest. I would have seen the bananas when I got up to go to the kitchen. But I just say, thank you, mother dear. So I'm like, okay. Because she'll do this at like 6:30 in the morning. And I'm like, my alarm would have gone off in 15 minutes. That's another thing. I censor my thoughts before the words come out because the flesh is real strong there. And I have to respond with the proper Christian response.
The proper submissive response as well.
Submissive, that is correct. That is so very right. Yes. So that's what I've learned moving back home.
So it sounds like the bulk of your humility journey has just been like basically you relearning your mom in a sense.
Yes.
And also you like growing your communication skills. I think this is the perfect time for us to segue into your dating relationship.
Yes.
How long have you and your boyfriend been dating?
In January of 2018, it will be 2 years.
2019?
2019. Yes. 2 years. Yes.
2 years. Okay. So you guys, so you already know that he is going to be your husband, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so what does that relationship look like for you right now in this season?
Well, so I'll be honest, like, we've had our struggles because we had gone through a lot of like prayer, fasting, all that stuff to realize, this is the person we want to be with. But currently we're in a good space. And I know relationships are seasonal. Like, you go through not really, maybe not patterns, but I mean, seasons is a pattern in itself. So we go through seasons, and not every season is going to be hunky-dory. So right now we're in a good season. I think because we're kind of like in a transition period.
Where you're planning for your future together?
Yes, we're planning for our future together. Also, like, me transitioning from grad school possibly to a job. And like, I think that is a lot to take in for this like small space. Like, it's okay to have like, one major transition, but when you have like multiple, it can be very stressful. And I am the person in this relationship that carries the stress, not that he doesn't carry the stress. I carry the stress on my shoulders. So you can see that I'm like, no, I'm not going to look frazzled, but you can tell by my words and like sometimes my body language where I'm like, whew, we gonna every inhale, exhale is another prayer. Like you just, I'm really praying right now. So, and he's the person that's like, God got us. You know, we're gonna figure this out. It's gonna be all right. And I'm like, I believe that deep down. I really do. He's just, you know, he's quicker to it than I am because I had to go through a process of like, oh, okay, Lord, let me open up my heart to you because I'm really feeling this way. And, you know, I know you can do this, but Lord, I'm really feeling this way. You know, I really had to be open and tell God how I really feel.
Mm-hmm.
And then deep down, after I write all that down, after I speak all this aloud in prayer and listen, then I'm like, okay, it's fine. I know he's going to handle it. Like, that's it. So
you guys are planning a future get together, but you are not yet engaged.
Correct. We are not.
So what has that process had to look like for you in terms of, because to me, submission is another form of humility because you essentially have to say, I don't necessarily agree with you. I don't necessarily want to do it that way, but I trust you and I know that as a leader over me that, you know, I know that you're leading me in the right direction. So with that being said, how have you had to like humble yourself in terms of like what that planning looks like and what you want that trajectory to be in terms of when you guys do get engaged and you get married and you start having kids and, you know, you start building a family together?
So yeah, we're definitely not going on I guess, the traditional path that people would think of when you're planning your future. Like, you meet the person, you date the person, you get engaged, you plan a wedding, you plan your life,
Mm-hmm.
all that. Um, we met, we dated, we did premarital counseling, and then after that class, it was really a class, we decided, yes, marriage is for us.
Mm-hmm.
And so even that is out of order. Like, we didn't do premarital after we were engaged.
Mm-hmm.
After we're engaged. So we've done it already. My mindset is like, it's all materialistic. Like, the ring is just like a tangible thing of the love that we've already established. And so for me, commitment means more to me.
Mm-hmm.
Your first, his commitment to God, and then secondly, his commitment to me.
Yeah.
His commitment to God has always like been in the forefront. Like, I've never felt that I was put before God. Like, I will call, he's doing something, like listen to a sermon, he's like, I'll call you back. Or he'll read something, I'll call you back. Like, I promise you, the times that we go to church, like I don't even realize until we're in the middle or towards the end of the sermon that he's sitting there. Like, I know he's there, but like, he's not in my sight.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. Like, it's like, I'm here for the word. He's there for the word. Like, we know each other is there, and we love the fact that we go to church together and have that experience, that time together. But it's really just like, it's like two separate things happening at one time. Like, I'm talking to my God and he's talking to his God, and we're both having that experience at the same time. And so it's like, that is the biggest commitment that means the most to me. Like, I know where his heart is. Mm-hmm. So that, and then secondly, like, yes, I know his commitment to me, and I know that he is like set on a future with me. Now, the ring will come. I know it'll be here, but that is not like the defining thing for me. And I've had a few friends, not a lot, because I don't have a whole lot of friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have a, close knit.
Yeah.
Where people are like, maybe you should wait for the ring and da da da. And I'm like, yes and no. Like, it's like telling me to wait on a man to do things in life. Like, this ring doesn't define anything. Like, it's just, I guess it does. Like, it's an outward showing of our commitment to each other. But I can get like the little Amazon rubber band rings and call it a day. Like, that is an outward showing that I belong to this person and he belongs to me. once that happens. But like, it's not a huge deal to me. Like, yes, it's something I would wear for life. And yes, I would like it to be nice, but it's not something that it's just like, I'm not going to hype up this moment because for me, my mindset is always on. Okay, yes, the ring will happen. Yes, the engagement will happen. Yes, the wedding will happen. But when all those days pass, I am with him all the time, 24/7, having to figure out how to like sacrifice and how to sanctify like all of this relationship within the relationship and how to glorify God in all of it. Like, that is my thought. Am I capable of doing that? Do I know how to do that? Am I praying about it? Like, am I praying for him? That is what concerns me. Like, yes, we can plan for things and that's cool and fine and dandy. And don't get me wrong, the closer we get to like something happening like marriage wise, I'm not trying to out here trying to look like I am out here looking crazy. I want to look nice. I want this event to be nice. But that is not my mindset completely. Like, my mindset is, how can I be the best wife that God wants me to be? Mm-hmm. Can I do that? Am I capable of doing that? Am I providing, am I getting the things that I need? Am I building up the skill set to do that? That is something that constantly goes through my mind. Like, once all this happens, it's just us.
Yeah.
Then what? Like, I don't want to just be in a house and be looking at him like, all that stuff, it was cute, it was fun, but like, this ain't fun no more. I don't want that to happen. I want to build up a relationship where I'm like seriously content with just being with him and being okay with that. Like, that is life. That's going to be the rest of our lives. So
I think it's important that you said that because, one, the fact that you're doing it in a non-traditional way is so amazing to me because it takes a lot of humility, first of all, but also a lot of like faith in God and trust in him. Like, you have to trust that, like you said, God is leading him and God is number one in his life. But then you also have to have faith that what God told you or what you felt like God told you was true. Because obviously you wouldn't be in this situation if you didn't feel like God said, this is your husband. But then you also have to go back and say, because we have those moments of doubt and wondering like if I actually heard the voice of God, like I think I heard it
all the time. I mean, not all the time, but like there are times of doubt, and you're like, wait a minute, and they always seem to pop up when you have like an argument, and it's like, why now am I having this doubt?
The enemy.
Yeah. Yesterday we was hunky-dory eating ice cream and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so in love. Like, and then argument comes, you're like, the Lord may have not told me.
Lord, do you want to say that again? Come again one more time.
Let me pray and listen, Lord. Is he really what you have for me in life? You like kind of peek and you're like waiting. No. So that's the thing. I had to remind myself, like, yesterday you was good. Today you're still good. So like, still keep that as a reminder.
It's been a pleasure watching you go through this journey because just hearing hearing your commitment to it and seeing how it's unfolding in such an untraditional. I'm type A, so for me, I'm like, but I know that there's certain things that I want for myself. And that I don't want for myself. And so being able to witness you kind of like lay that foundation without having that outward expression, because as long as God, you and him know that there's a commitment, then that's really all that matters. I mean, because y'all could go to the courthouse and get married with an Amazon ring and be just fine.
But I just feel like we really have to think about our intentions and things. Yeah. Like, don't get caught up in face value of stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, it is what it is. Like, if that is your commitment, that's your commitment. Shouldn't matter what other people say. And we are struggling with that because, like, there are times when, even if I'm like talking to my discipler, like, she has said to me, like, you probably shouldn't do anything else until you get a ring. And I'm like, like, and, or like if I'm talking to my family or something, they're like, where's the ring? Where's the ring? Where's, like, badgering, pressuring. And it's like, we will do things in the timing that God feels that we should do things.
Yeah.
And it at the end of the day, like they're saying these things, but it's just gonna be me and him one day,
Yeah.
not him. It's gonna be our home unit, and we have to figure out how to um, keep this safe, keep this secure, like, and keep out all the naysayers and the drama and all that stuff because like this commitment is lifelong, and because it's lifelong, it's that serious. And so we can't just like run into things, or can't just like allow other people to say things to you thinking that, oh yeah, they're family. Don't get me wrong, family is important, and what they say you should take into consideration. But the first voice that you need to hear is of God. And if God says that's okay, then doesn't matter what Sally Joe said, even if Sally Joe is your mom. All that stuff is important, but like you have to realize like God has you. Like
Mm-hmm.
he has me. Like if he can create the whole universe and still knew about my whole life before he created the universe, then obviously I will
That
be
is
okay.
so important. Oh my gosh. Like we forget that. Like we get so caught up in the what everybody thinks and what everybody says, or what we think we should be doing, or the insecurity or the doubt, that we forget that your life has a purpose. Like you were created for this specific purpose, and he never said it was going to be easy, but it was always supposed to be worth it. And
Yeah,
if you just continue to focus on God's voice, continue to focus on the promise that he made you, you'll get to that point when it's time for you to get there.
yeah,
And
exactly.
it's go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's so true. Like, I mean, now we have to be honest. Like, they at face value right now, like in my life, we don't have all this money in the world to be doing XYZ and to be planning a future.
Yeah.
But I do believe that if God is in this, if God really said this about our lives, if God it really has plans for us, if God really said to trust in him in everything,
Mm.
then he will open doors that need to be open, and he will close the doors that need to be closed, and he will make way. So I know like there are probably a lot of families or couples out there that they're like, I don't know, we don't have the money for this, we ain't got the money for it either. So but we've decided that God has it under control, and that's just it. Like that is it. There are some things that, like, even in marriage, I'm not married yet, but like there are things that you have to like keep within the marriage, and these are lessons that I'm kind of like picking up on now, because
Mm-hmm.
there are things that people will say and I'm like, I can't tell you nothing. You still love those people, you still enjoy life with those people, you can invite them in, but there are certain things you just can't say.
And
And
you have to protect your space.
exactly, that is so hard for me because I love family and I love being around friends and I love to talk about things, and I love for people to feel like they're in my space. Like you want to feel like you're included in things, and I
Yeah.
like to make people feel like that. But I have to realize that it can come back to like bite me. Not saying that I'm trying to hide my flaws or my sins, but I don't believe that XYZ need to know about my flaws and my sins at all times. Because at the end of the day, like that backfires, like, well, that can make me feel like, one, I can't tell anybody anything and I'm not exposing my sin from one to another. But then I have to realize, I don't know. But you gotta fall under some criteria for me to say some things to you. And um I think a lot of that sometimes I feel like I struggle with pride when I have to put you in a category. As if I don't want to come off like I'm better than you, but that's hard for me to say, oh, I can't tell you this and I can't tell you that because I want to tell you that. But
Yeah.
you don't fall under this criteria because you've done XYZ to me already. And I'm like, is that pride? Is that humility?
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, so to speak, because everyone is in your life for a reason, and
True,
everyone can't handle your truth at the same capacity.
true.
And so you then have to say within yourself, um, first, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? You have to process it for yourself and be able to understand what's going on. But then when you have that person around that maybe you want to share that with, or you want them to hold you accountable, or you want to confess your sin or whatever, you then have to say, and this is just the truth, is this person worthy of hearing my sin? Because if that's the person that's going to judge you and say, girl, now then that's not somebody you should be sharing your sin with. But if that's someone that's going to say, hey, I understand you made a mistake, it's not okay, but I understand that you did that, let's pray about it, let's fast about it, let's see how we can get you to the next level. But I think that it's just important that we, first of all, know who we're sharing things with, and two, we know like why we're sharing. Because if you're just talking just to talk, it's like, well, you can talk about the weather outside if you want to talk. Like, you can talk about that show you watched last night. You don't need to be confessing your love and your heart to somebody that's gonna go run and tell everyone, or even just judge you within themselves. But then I also think it's important for you to have grace, because I'm not saying it's right or wrong or whatever, but you never know what that person is going through. You never know what they're experiencing. And so whatever that is that you may be sharing with them may be impacting them in another way because of basically what God is doing in their heart through you. Okay. So what is something you would say to someone who is struggling with pride?
Really dissect certain situations and how you react in those situations. Is your response to the person or reaction to a situation because of an insecurity that you have, or the possibility that you'll be vulnerable in something? Then, and even if not, either way, always try to find the wrongdoing that you did. Like, look internally first.
Yeah.
And I think doing that along with, the word, having the Bible at hand, helps you to really realize, like, you're not that great. Like, like, bring it back.
Yeah.
Let go of the pride, because pride gets you nowhere. It gets you nowhere but out here with other people who struggle with pride. And then, even then, you're still going to find something to boast yourself, to boast about from yourself. And I just think I know God is very far from that. So for me, I would just say, like, look internally, know why, like the true why as to why you react or why you have a certain response. And then from there, just kind of like maybe even ask like close friends or family, like if they see certain attributes in you, and then literally just pray through every situation to ask God to change your heart, and give you new responses, so that you're proactive instead of like reacting to, a situation. So
to piggyback off of that, I would say that you have to know yourself. I can't ask someone to come into what I'm doing if I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, if I don't know what my triggers are, if I don't know what makes me sad, if I don't know what makes me happy, if I don't, like, if I don't know me, I can't dare. That would be unfair and selfish of me to say, hey, you're cute, you love the Lord, but I'm a mess over here. So just come join my mess, and we're gonna be cute together. We're gonna love the Lord together, but we're gonna be a hot mess.
yeah.
So I would say you have to know yourself, but then you also have to remember why you started. If you started because God said, hey, this is for you, then remember that. Focus on that. Focus on why you are where you are, and just try to receive the lesson and the blessing that's in that. This has been another amazing Testimony Tuesday. I'm so excited. If you guys have any questions or any comments, please feel free to share them below. Be kind, be open, and be you. I think that's important, right? To be yourself. You have to be yourself in all that you do. So don't forget to subscribe and to follow us on Instagram. And until next week, I'll see you later. Bye.